Hey Joe, as I mentioned over the phone, I'm with the Retirement Services Division at Paychex, and I work specifically with small business owners like yourself to review different ways your business could take advantage of retirement plans as a business tool to help you save, reduce taxes, recruit and retain good people. And I'm going to take about 15 or 20 minutes just to kind of ask you some specific questions about your business and your employees to see if I could recommend a solution that meets your needs. In that time, you'll know everything you need to decide whether it makes business sense or not. And if so, we could discuss how to implement and move forward. Does that sound good?
Yeah, sounds great.
All right, awesome. Before we jump into it, I just want to show you our wheel of services. So this is like, I call it a 50,000 foot overview of what Paychex does. About 50 years ago, we started as a small business. The founder of our company started with $3,000 out of his garage, and he decided he wanted to become a small business focused payroll company. At this point, almost 50 years later, we're the largest payroll company in the world. We do payroll for over 680,000 clients. But as time has gone on and the needs of our business owners have evolved, we've evolved with the times, and we've kind of become a one-stop shop for everything that you might need. So for example, anything you need insurance-wise, workers' comp, dental, life, vision, we got you covered. We're one of the largest insurance agencies in the country. In terms of retirement services, that's what I'm here to talk to you about today. We are the largest 401k record keeper in the country. We do over 82,000 plans, and at this point we have over 30 billion in assets under management. So I don't tell you that to brag, Joe, but I just tell you that to give you kind of the scope of what we do and let you know that this is not something that we just started doing. We're actually the leaders in the field. Last but not least, human resources outsourcing. Probably the fastest growing part of Paychex. And I'll put it to you like this. A company like yours, Joe, 4 employees, pizza shop, you're probably not going to go out and hire a human resources generalist to come work here full time. 1, it's going to cost you a lot of money to get one in New York. 2, you probably don't need one with 4 people. But you may have very similar challenges to a large corporation and just need some support. So what you can do is you can tap into some of our resources, and we can help you with your human resources and clean everything up for you and make your people more productive. So anything we talked about, would anything be of interest to you?
Yeah, I mean, the HR does sound good, and the retirement.
All right, awesome. So we'll talk about the retirement today, and I will have my HR partner, Anthony, give you a call, and because he's the expert on that. He can walk you through exactly what you may or may not need on the HR side.
Excellent.
Okay, Joe? Awesome. So like I said, I wanted to just ask you some questions and see if I can make a recommendation for you. So you own a pizza shop. Why did you get into running a pizza shop?
I always grew up in the restaurant industry. My father owned restaurants a couple of years back, kind of retired, and always grew up in the industry. So a few years back, decided to open up my own pizza shop.
Cool. How long have you been here at this location?
I've been here just about 2 years now.
2 years. So you're doing good.
Yes.
What's the trend? Are you starting to get more busy? Are you growing? How's that working?
Starting to grow, getting the name out there. Did a little bit of marketing. Just added a couple more employees this year.
Okay. And I see your payroll, you have 4 employees plus you is 5. Are you looking to add any other employees?
Right now, we're going to be around 5, maybe another 1 or 2 over the next 6 months to a year.
Okay. Any plans to grow, add another location or anything like that?
Yeah, that'd be the plan. Next
Okay.
few years.
Over the next few years, growth. Great. And how are you structured tax-wise? Are you a corporation, S corporation?
I'm an S corp.
S corp. Awesome. How about your tax situation last year? You've been in business for 2 years. Did you find yourself paying some money at the end of the year?
Yeah, a little bit towards the end of the year last year.
Do you remember how much?
It was a few grand.
Okay. And what did you do last year to try to minimize your tax liability?
I don't think anything specific.
Okay. I could probably help you with that.
Okay.
Okay. Joe, your employees. So you have, like I said, 4. How long have these guys been with you?
Well, my main pizza maker, he's been with me since the beginning.
Okay.
He's kind of like my right-hand man.
Which guy is that? Is that
That's,
Jim?
Jim, yes.
Okay, Jim. So he's been with you for 2 years.
2 years, yeah.
Okay.
Everyone else, 6 months to a year.
Cool. And have any of them ever asked you about benefits? Do you offer any employee benefits right now?
No,
No?
it's a little tough, it's very expensive. to
No, I
offer
get it.
benefit.
I totally get it. And what about other businesses in the area? Do you have a lot of competition around here? Are there other pizza shops in the area?
Yeah, it's New York. There's a pizza shop in every couple miles.
Okay.
So definitely lots of competition.
Got it. And last question on this: have you seen any turnover? Have any employees come and go?
Yeah. Over the past 2 years, I had a handful come and go. It's kind of the industry. It's hard to really keep guys here a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. What have you done, or do you have anything in place to attract and retain new employees?
I try to do the right thing. I give my guys days off here and there if they need an advance. I try to do the right thing.
Awesome.
Try to always take care of them, but
yeah, it seems like
specific.
It seems like a great place to work. So I'm sure that they're happy working here. I guess, Joe, switching gears to you. What are you doing for retirement? Are you doing anything personally for retirement?
Nothing. With some savings. I want to get a little bit of real estate. Trying to get into.
Okay, so you got a personal savings account. You have some real estate. Do you have any formal kind of retirement plan at this point?
No, I do not.
Okay, so you're not doing anything through the business in terms of your retirement. So let me ask you this. What do you want to do when you retire? I know you're a young guy, but have you given some thought about what you want to do when you retire?
Definitely like to travel.
Okay. Absolutely. Any idea where you want to travel?
Anywhere.
Travel the world?
Yeah, travel the world.
Cool. Yeah, typically what I hear is stuff like that. I want to travel the world. I want to spend time with my family, my kids, my grandkids, and all that takes money, right? So,
absolutely.
The idea is, the earlier you can start saving, the better off you're going to be. And I think I might have a good solution for you to kind of get you on the right track for that today. So I want to go through that with you now. Is that cool?
All right, cool, yeah.
All right, Joe, so let me show you. I'm just going to open up my my presentation on my tablet here, and you can follow along as I go through it.
All right.
And Joe, so there's 3 reasons you would start a retirement plan for the business. Big reason you would set up a plan would be to reduce taxes. So you kind of told me that you paid some money in taxes last year. I think we might be able to help you with that. Save for yourself, like we were just talking about. You want to travel, and you want to probably lay back a little bit when you retire. So we got to make sure that you're in a situation where you're able to do that financially. And then also you have 4 guys, and you've had a little turnover, nothing crazy, but there's a lot of competition in town with the other pizza shops. So I think offering a retirement plan, just from my experience, is going to help you keep the good people you have, like Jim, and attract even more good people to come work for you as the business continues to grow. Okay, does that sound good?
Yeah.
Awesome. So typically when we look at retirement, we think about retirement, we think of it as a 4-legged stool, okay? Social Security, we'll get into in a second, but I think you've heard it's anything but secure, so to speak. Regular savings account, it's a good idea to save money in a savings account as often as you can, but I don't know about you. I personally don't have 30 years of retirement savings in my savings account. I put away money in there when I can, and that's not going to be my key to my finances in retirement. Other investments, whether you own real estate, like you said, or mutual funds, or any kind of stocks. But most importantly, and what most people are going to draw income from in retirement is some sort of retirement plan. And in a business like yours that's private, where you're not offering a pension, you're not union, a 401k plan is probably going to be your best bet. And I want to talk to you a little bit about why. So on the next slide, real quick, like I was saying, Social Security is expected to be unable to cover benefits by 2034. So you're a young man. It says, on the payroll here, you're 31 years old. So, in another 19 years, you're not going to be ready to retire or collect Social Security. So, in other words, both of us sitting in this room are probably not getting Social Security. So you and I even need to think more about putting money away for ourselves so that when we are old enough to retire, that we have the money that we need. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Awesome. So Joe, I do this for a living. As you could probably tell, I meet with 15 business owners a week at a minimum, and I see the whole spectrum. So I see people who have saved nothing, who are in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, and I see people who are like you, who are young men who are just starting out 2 years into the business and have an opportunity to put some money away. The reality is, Joe, there's a retirement crisis right now. There's millions of people every day that are living paycheck to paycheck and working far into their retirement and golden years just to be able to survive. So I always say you have two options in life. One, you could work forever, or two, you could live off the money that you have saved during your working years in retirement. So my goal is to try to help you get started on the right path with that today, so you can do the things you want to do, like travel. Sound good?
Yeah.
Awesome. So Joe, I wanted to kind of explain to you how all this works. So you could contribute money to a 401k plan on what's called a pre-tax basis. Are you familiar with that?
Pre-tax, yeah, without paying your taxes.
Yeah, so let me explain it to you. So Joe, pretend you make $1,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter if it's a week, a month, just for ease of math. What we do as your payroll company is we take those taxes out of your paycheck and we send them in for you. So let's estimate 30% in taxes is coming right off the top. So that leaves you with what at the end of the day?
$700.
And then you told me you try to save some money when you can. Let's pretend you save $100 into a savings account. At the end of this week, you're down to how much?
$600.
$600, right? So here's what you can do with the 401k plan is still pay yourself $1,000. That's not going to change. But what you can do and what you can change is you could save this $100 before you pay taxes. Okay? So if you do that, your taxable income instead of being $1,000 is how much now?
900.
So if you take 30% of 900, that's only
270.
270. So here's the deal. You're saving the same $100, but you're taking home an extra $30.
Ah, okay.
You see how that works?
Yeah.
So I'll take it one step further for you. Let's say you were okay living on $600. Well, what you could do is you can even give yourself a 30% increase on your savings, and let's say you save $130. Well, then your taxes will drop, and at the end of the week or the end of the month, you're bringing home $609. So at the end of the day here, what you were able to do just by saving the money pre-tax through a 401k plan is give yourself a 30% increase on savings and give yourself $130 into that account, but also you're taking home more money than you were in the initial example. So I always say, the IRS does, if you need to answer that, Joe, that's fine.
No
I know you're running the business here.
No problem.
All right,
Yeah,
awesome.
turn it off.
I appreciate your full undivided attention.
Thank you.
So you see how that works?
Yeah.
Awesome. So if you look at it over 10, 20, or 30 years, because you're able to afford to put away more money,
Okay.
you can see the difference between saving money post-tax as opposed to saving money pre-tax like we just went through. And you're 31 years old. Over 30 years, just by doing $500 a month pre-tax,
Okay.
that's going to net you a difference of $440,000 in retirement.
Wow.
Does that sound like something that would help you do the things you want to do in retirement?
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Any questions so far, Joe, before I move forward?
No, seems pretty straightforward.
Okay, good. Next is what's called compounding interest. So I want you to understand what this means, because a retirement plan is a little bit different, like I said, than just putting money into a savings account, because the money that you put into the retirement plan is going to grow over time with compounding interest. So the easiest way I could explain it to you, Joe, is picture a snowball rolling down a hill. You start with a little bit of snow at the top of the hill and roll it down, and what do you get at the bottom of the hill?
Big ball.
Big ball of snow, right? So it's the same idea with these retirement plans, because you start with a little bit of money now, and that money grows a little bit, and then you put more money in, and that money grows a little bit, and then over a long period of time, you end up with a big sum of money. So that's called compounding interest. And you can see what the really cool thing is here, Joe, is that you have a lot of time ahead of you. You're 31 years old. So look, between 29 and 30 years down the line, your money is growing just over this 1 year between 29 and 30 years, $112,000. Now this is based on just putting away $500 a month with an 8% return, which by the way, Joe, over the last 30 years has been the average in retirement plans. So we're not going to become rich overnight. You're not going to make $6,000 on your investment. The name of the game is slow growth over time.
Okay.
Do you understand where I'm coming from with that?
Yeah.
The key with this, Joe, is that same with the snowball. If you have a shorter hill, you get a smaller snowball. Same with this is that if you have less time to put money away, you'll end up with a smaller amount of money at the end of the line.
Okay.
Okay, and I want to show you kind of exactly how that breaks down for you personally, Joe. And I'm going to pull up my retirement calculator for you, okay? So I pulled up your payroll, and it looks like you made $50,000 last year on W-2 wages. Does that sound right?
Yeah, that's my accountant had me do.
Okay, and we're in New York State, so you pay a lot in taxes. I always estimate about 30%. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay, and you are 31. And did you ever put any thought into when you wanted to retire? What age?
I didn't really think about it.
All right,
Didn't
well, I'll
give
tell
much
you that retirement is starting later and later for people because of what I was talking about before. So I'm going to punch it in at 67 for you. And we can play with these numbers, but just for argument's sake, you work from now when you're 31 till the time you're 67 before you start to scale back, okay?
Okay.
You told me you have nothing saved for retirement at the moment. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. So, Joe, here's an important question. How much do you think you could afford to put away per month right now?
Per month? I could probably do like $200 a week.
$200 a week?
Was that like $800 a month?
Something like that. Yeah. So times 52, we're talking about $10,400 a year, something like that.
Yeah, I could do that.
Okay. And this employer match, Joe, I'm going to explain in a second, but for right now, I'm just going to leave it at 0.
Okay.
Okay? So rough estimate, this is based on putting in $10,800 per year, Joe.
Okay.
And like I said, with an investment return percentage average over the last 30 years, about 8%. If you just did, Joe, $200 a week out of your paycheck from now until the time you're 67, your projected assets are $2.1 million, 2.182.
Wow.
Okay, so that's it. Would that be helpful for you to reach your retirement goals?
Yeah, it seems like it's a nice place to start.
Absolutely, right?
Yeah.
Have you heard of a 401k match before?
A little bit, yeah.
So I'm going to show you something cool. Because you're an S corporation and you're the owner of the company, you're also an employee of the company. So you're actually able to give yourself an employer match, believe it or not.
Okay.
And that also becomes a tax write-off. I'm going to show you what that looks like in a minute. But let's just pretend you do what a lot of our clients do, and what a more popular match is about 3.5%. So if you were to do that, Joe, and we're talking a couple of bucks here, that would raise your projected assets from 2.182 to 2.535. So you can see, just by giving yourself a little bit of an incremental increase in terms of that match, how much of a difference it makes. It's only, it's $350,000 difference in retirement.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a lot of money any way you slice it. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
So, Joe, here's the key, and what I really want you to understand here is that, like I said, you are young and you do have a big hill ahead of you. This is usually eye-opening for people. If you're 31 and you wait until you're 32 to start this, that 2.535 drops to 2.335. So right on the nose, Joe, you lost, just by waiting 1 year, you lost $200,000 in retirement. So I'm going to stop for a second and see if you have any questions, because I know sometimes this could be a little mind-blowing for people.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm talking about here?
Yeah, you're saying if I wait 1 year, the difference is about 200 grand.
Yeah, so, and you could even break it down by month. So now if you wait a month, we're talking almost $20,000 in your retirement just because you waited one more month to set this up.
Wow.
I don't even want to go back and show you what this would look like if you started when you were 22 years old, but
Yeah.
I think you get the idea.
I get it, yeah.
Okay, so time is of the essence right now for you, Joe. Are you bought in? You think this is a pretty good idea to do?
Yeah, it seems like it makes sense.
Okay, great. So let me explain to you exactly how it works. Okay? There's 3 ways to put money into a 401k plan. One is we've been talking about. You take a little percentage of your paycheck every week and put that into the plan.
Okay.
You could also give yourself that employer match that I was talking about. And the third way is profit sharing.
Okay.
So at the end of the year, if you're profitable, instead of going out and buying a new pizza oven or a new delivery truck or trying to spend money some way that's going to depreciate over time, what you could do is actually take that money and put it into profit sharing. Now you will have to share some of that with the other eligible employees here. But 2 things. One, that money should grow over time, as opposed to if you bought a pizza delivery truck that's going to depreciate the minute you drive it off the lot. And 2, a lot of my clients tell me they'd rather give that money to their employees for a job well done, as opposed to just take that money and turn around and give it away in taxes. I don't know what side of the fence you sit on, but the profit sharing is discretionary, so from year to year you decide if you want to use it. If you never use it, cool. If you use it every year, cool. We include it in every plan.
Okay.
So it's there as a safety net if you need it.
Okay.
Okay, so the maximums here, Joe, out of your own paycheck, you could put up to $19,000 per year. Anyone who works it that's over 50 years old could put an additional $6,000 for a total of $25,000 per year. And the total sum of all 3 parts is $62,000 per year. So it really could become a really big tax shelter for you.
Okay.
Okay, any questions about how any of this works before I move forward?
Yeah, so do I have to give that to the match to my employees?
Yeah, so you would give it to any of the employees that are eligible for the plan. And the strictest eligibility requirement you can put in place is 12 months to wait since they start working here. They have to be 21 years old and they have to work 1,000 hours within that first year.
Okay.
So just looking at your payroll here, it looks like about 2 of your 5 people would qualify for that. Okay? And their total salaries over the last 2 years were $60,000 total. So 3-4% of that, we're talking, less than $2,000 a year. You would have to match your employees. But the reward for you for being able to do that would be you'd be able to put away the kind of money we were talking about, get all that money in tax savings. And if I go back to your retirement calculator, you're saving, on this example, you're saving $3,200 in taxes. So that match takes care of itself. Okay? And going back to what I said earlier, this is really why this plan is a great way to attract and retain top employees like your guy Jim, because just by giving him a little bit of money, it's going to make him think twice before he goes and works for one of your competitor pizza shops up the block if they just said, I'm going to give you $1 more per hour. From my experience, that does help with the retention of good employees.
Okay.
Do you agree with that? You think that would be a good retention tool for you?
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, great. Joe, it's super easy to do it with paychecks. We already do your payroll. You've trusted us to do that. You've trusted us to do your workers' comp. All we're going to do is you're going to tell me how much money you want to put into the 401k plan. Your employees are going to tell me, and then we're going to take that money and transfer that for you every single pay period. You don't even have to think about it.
Okay.
So it really makes your job of running this plan very, very simple. There's a million different companies you could choose to do this, but the unfair advantage that Paychex has is that we already do your payroll, and we could turn this on and it becomes just an automated kind of autopilot 401k plan. So that's the unfair advantage we have over any other company in the world at this point. All right, just kind of going back to what we said before, we are the largest 401k record keeper in the country. We did not just start doing this, 82,000 plans and counting. And I think what's really cool too, Joe, is that we serve over 840,000 participants.
Wow.
So when you think about that, there's almost 1 million people in the United States that have retirement plans with Paychex that wouldn't have had so otherwise. So you'll be the next company to come on board with that. All right. And Joe, I just wanted to go through the pricing with you, and then I have some paperwork, and I'll get out of here so you can get back to making pizzas. There's a one-time implementation fee of $2,250. The monthly fee is $175 per month, which includes the filing of your Form 5500 and the distribution of all your participant notices. Plus, there's a $5 per participant per month fee.
Okay.
Okay, so I just have a couple of signatures on my tablet for you.
All right. It definitely sounds great. I do want to, speak to my my accountant about it.
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
Make sure this makes sense for business wise.
Yeah.
Also, I talked to my wife, but I do think this makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm the same way too. Whenever I make a decision like this, I like to consult my spouse and whoever else might help me make decisions like this. But before we even go there, Joe, because I know you're busy, and we're all busy. Before you ask your wife or your accountant if it's a good idea, do you think it's a good idea?
Yeah. I mean, I got nothing for retirement. I got to start saving.
Because just from going through my notes, it looks like you don't have anything for retirement yet, and that it looked like you were going to have, close to over $2.5 million in retirement by starting today. By waiting a month, it's costing you, close to 20 grand. You did have a little bit of a tax situation last year, which I think this is going to help you with. And I think we agree that this is a great benefit to offer to attract and retain employees. So, so you do agree it's a good idea, right?
Correct.
Okay. So let's just play devil's advocate. Let's pretend you talk to your accountant today, you talk to your wife today, and they both say this is a bad idea, don't do it. Then
Okay.
what?
I don't know. I mean, I got to do something.
Yeah. No, I agree. But I think that's worst case scenario, right? Do you think your accountant's going to think it's a bad idea to put money away for retirement?
No, I don't see why you would say no.
Okay. So here's what I would recommend today, Joe, because, it's time is on your side right now. Why don't we just get the paperwork taken care of so we can get an initial effective date? And it looks like when I get this submitted today, your effective date, so the plan will be ready to go on May 2nd. I'll get everything submitted and up and running, and in the meantime, I'll come out and do an enrollment meeting. If anything changes or if your accountant has any hesitation, you can reach out to me, have him reach out to me directly, and I'll help talk through it and make sure everybody's on the same page.
All right.
All right, does that sound good?
Sounds good.
All right, great. So I just have a few signatures.
All right, cool.